Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. As regular visitors know, and as you new visitors will know in a moment, because I'm going to tell you, in fact, you'll know right now, because I'm telling you right now, I record these vlogs the day before you see them. So I'm recording this on Monday, the first day of the Coney Barrett confirmation hearings in the Senate regarding her nomination by President Trump as an Associate Justice on the Supreme Court. Today there were no questions. Today was a day of opening statements. I have to comment on these opening statements, on what I saw so far, which really, I have to say, disgusted me. There's no other word for that, and I'm talking about the Democrats, because in these opening statements, no Democrat, I mean zero, talked about her history, her qualifications for the Supreme Court, her academic record, her record as a judge, the well-qualified rating that she got from the American Bar Association, the ABA, which is the Democrats' gold standard. None of that. All they talked about, which really stunned me, was the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and that Coney Barrett, in their opinion, would strike down the law. Now, the best riposte to all of that was Ted Cruz, who said if the Supreme Court did strike down the ACA, Congress can pass a new law. The Supreme Court is not a legislature, which is the whole point of these hearings, because that is what the Democrats believe, and I was going to say evidence, but the proof is their constant harping on the ACA and its potential to be overturned. Never mind, well, they talked about the ACA in general, and then specifically they talked about the loss of coverage for pre-existing conditions, even though the Senate brought up a bill that would specifically guarantee coverage for pre-existing conditions, and the Democrats voted against it. They all voted against it. So you see a little hypocrisy there. And let me just throw in this other fact, because the main point of the ACA one of the main points that these Democratic senators brought up again and again and again, well, they would bring, I was surprised, actual photos of, they do this all the time. This is going to be my main point, the touchy-feely Democrats. They showed photos of people who benefited from the ACA. In other words, somebody who got coverage, who didn't have coverage or couldn't get coverage for a pre-existing condition before. According to them, even though pre-existing conditions were covered in many cases, but that is another story, that before the ACA, but they would show these photos, and poor little Timmy could not get his operation, and then the ACA was passed and they could. I mean, if I wanted to, I could show a photo too. I could show a photo of my own brother. My brother is a lawyer. He has his own practice, and he can only practice law a certain amount of the year. He can only earn so much money, because if he earns too much money, he loses his Obamacare subsidy, and his health insurance instantly goes up $14,000 a year. But that was all these Democratic senators talked about, kept making this point over and over, that people who could not get health care before, who had to delay health care, now did not have to under Obamacare. But guess what? Gallup just released a poll, and it turns out that more people are delaying getting health care now than before Obamacare. So I hope at least one Republican senator on the Judiciary Committee will see that Gallup poll and mention it in tomorrow's hearing. Tomorrow's hearing, which is now today when you're watching this, this is the day for questioning, so we'll see what the actual questioning is like. Because I don't know how they can, well, they'll try just to say over and over again, or just to ask over and over again for 30 minutes. Each senator gets 30 minutes to question, to ask over and over, are you going to overturn the ACA? When that's not a proper question to ask. You cannot ask a nominee how she will vote or rule on a particular case. Cannot do that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But what I want to get to today is this touchy-feely aspect of the Democrats. All their arguments are touchy-feely. It's all about emotion. They don't look at, especially when you're talking about a judge. A judge, as somebody said, or as a Republican senator quoting Scalia, I think, in the opening statements, that you can feel terrible about the result of a decision, that it's going to hurt somebody, but, well, every decision is going to hurt somebody because you have a winner and a loser in the case, so they both can't come out ahead. But if the facts show that the giant cruel corporation is right and the poor widow with 7 children thrown out on the street, she's wrong, well, you have to rule for the corporation. You have to just look at what the law says, and it is up to the legislature to fix any problems, which was a point that Ted Cruz brought up. He's on the Judiciary Committee, and he said that the Congress can fix any problems that are caused by the Supreme Court striking down a law or upholding a law or whatever, that it's up to the legislature. But Democrats obviously don't want the Congress to have that decision anymore, because now they would have to, if they replace Obamacare with a new law, they're going to have to listen to Republicans and incorporate some of their policy wishes into the legislation. But it really bothers me that they always go to the emotion. They always bring up a photo of somebody, or they stage a dog and pony show on a stage to show people that will be hurt. So we have to subvert the Constitution because this person is going to be hurt if we follow the Constitution. It shows you also, I'll end on this, their judicial philosophy. This is what they're looking for in a judge. They're looking for a judge who will cast the law aside and just look at who the plaintiff and who the defendant are, and will then rule for whoever deserves, like Queen for a Day, if you remember that show. It's probably going way too far back for all of you. Maybe you heard of Queen for a Day, but it's like Queen for a Day, where you're supposed to just feel sorry for somebody and then just bend the law to help that person regardless of what the law actually says. And that's what they want in a judge, because they want a judge who does what they do. They want a judge who will look at photos of somebody who will be hurt by a decision and just decide based on that. That is wrong. And I'll just end on that today, except to say, as always, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your taking your time to visit with me for a few minutes. And if you could give me a thumbs up, that would really be great. If you like this video, share with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? Comment section below the video, where you can also put questions, suggestions for future topics. You could also subscribe. I love getting subscribers. And before I say goodbye, just want to plug my music channel. I have a music channel now. I put my own songs up there. I'm putting a link to it in the description, so you can just go there if you want to. And if you don't want to go there, that's fine, but you're going to miss some great music. And that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. As I said, I hope to see all of you again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.